Panel, ladies and gentlemen, funnily enough, in the world we live in, you can sue anyone for anything. In the United States, there's this burglar who broke into a house, he got hurt, he sued the owner, and he won. This dude sued McDonald's because their coffee was too hot. Heck, I can even sue my parents for whatever reason in the name of unjust vexation if they offended me or triggered me or hurt me emotionally in that way. We believe these isolated religious communities are no different. In fact, when there is often this oppressive structure that has for far too long indoctrinated their members at a very young age, which has ultimately robbed them the capacity and choice to truly make informed decisions. This looks like their dogmatic preachings going against the use of Western medicine and contraceptives that moderately lead to people getting sexually transmitted diseases and other host of bad things when you don't have safe sex, or even death, ladies and gentlemen, in an extreme case that they reject modern medicine. This also looks like damages and lost out opportunity costs wherein businesses get harmed because they reject the use of modern finance and technology. Here are a few features of our model we think are relevant to this policy debate. The first is, you can sue the community as a whole if you want to, as the collective church, or a singular pastor or leader. Secondly, what does this lifestyle thing look like, right? Because we recognize that to a large extent, opposition can say, well, the lifestyle is outside the church, it's your choice. But to a large extent, you are influenced by lottery of birth, being brought up into this particular family, to these particular parents you did not have control over, and even more so what these people indoctrinate and teach you in your formative years at a very young age, robbing you a true capacity and lens to make decisions. The third is, we have to understand that these isolated communities often reinforce monolithic echo chambers that reinforce certain confirmation biases which you were taught at a very young age, like what I mentioned in my pre-oration about medicine and technology being bad. Therefore, it's very difficult to be able to opt out of these particular environments because of a fear of a stigma, a fear of being judged, and the fear that you can no longer be part of that community, since oftentimes the Amish and these particular individuals are very groupthink oriented in terms of how they perceive people. The fourth is, why is it through suing? We think that suing is something that the state should uniquely allow these individuals to do in order to have the best possible reparation in the form of getting monetary compensation or being able to reinforce your reputation. There are a couple of outcomes we posit can happen here. A, if you sue and you win, yay, that's awesome, money, that's cool. B, the opposing party, whether it be the collective church or that singular pastor, can probably settle, which means yay, money for you as well. We think that they are likely to settle given that the church has a lot of funds that they get from donations, and even pastors are able to get a percentage of that donation. So we think that they have every capacity to be able to pay for these things, and you can, as a person contributing to that state, get a portion of that back in the form of reparation. C is, if you lose, at least you tried. You pave the way for iteration of other people to try out different arguments and approaches. D is, okay, if you lose, then what's the hassle? You spend a little bit, there are a lot of affordable pro bono lawyers and stuff. And E is, at any point that becomes so stressful for you, because opposition might say, you're gonna get stuck with all of these legal battles and these capacities, people can drop out and opt out at any time. We see that happen in legal battles wherein it becomes too stressful for people at a point in which they probably can just drop the charges, I change my mind, I move on. Win or lose, ladies and gentlemen, we need a chance to be able to hold these particular accountable, and if you don't want to do it, then don't sue. Sure, I'll take a POI, go ahead. We think it can happen either or, right? Like if you're within that community and you want to be able to sue them, you have every right to do so. But if you want to do it when you're outside the community, you can do it as well. I'm just saying that it's often really difficult to opt out of that particular community for the reasons I mentioned. I can take another POI if closing or the other team has one. 3, 2, 1. Why is this so severe that we need to be able to sue? It's because of this oppressive structure that exists that robs people the chance to make decisions. Yes, people have free will, people have agency, but oftentimes a lot of these things are subtly dictated upon who we are, which affect our locus of control and our identity. We need a chance for people to take some sort of ownership back, and the unique nuance here is that these religions and these pastors are often indoctrinated themselves, and out of any job that they could have chosen, they also choose to reinforce these particular beliefs. That is to say that they are somewhat an accessory, ladies and gentlemen, to these particular harms that they infringe upon you, of which you have every right to use the capacity of the state to be able to hold them accountable. Let's be very clear. We are going to have a process, ladies and gentlemen, just like any legal battle in status quo. There's going to be a judge, a jury, there's going to be a fair set of proportionality in terms of what's going to be arbitrated. It's going to be to a large extent fair, and there's going to be an investigation, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of forwarding it. So it can box out some harms that they might say about, oh, you're going to spam the particular judicial system, or oh, people will do these things willy-nilly. Heck, if you have money and you feel offended, go fish, you can do it. What do we uniquely tell you from Opening Government? We tell you about how these oppressive structures condition how you think at a very young age. The point in which you have the agency to be able to feel those things often comes later, and you have every right to hold them accountable and to be able to potentially have a chance at getting what you want, but it's not outcome dependent. Even if that doesn't happen, you pave the way for others to push and try to hold these things accountable. For all these reasons, very proud to open this debate. Hear, hear.